Will you join me in the flag salute? Please rise. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing.
Please pray with me. Father, we'd like to thank you for our staff, parents, and businesses, and especially students of the Ponca City Public Schools. Without their support and all these groups, our students could not get what is needed for the success in life. We want to thank our Board of Education as they volunteer their time for our students and staff of the Ponca City Schools. We truly appreciate their efforts and the love of kids. Also be with our men and women of the armed forces as they protect us here at home and abroad. Bring us peace. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Be seated, please. Jan, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Clark?
Present.
Dr. Kincaid?
Here.
Mr. Newsom?
Here.
Mr. Riley?
Here.
Mrs. Troop?
Okay. We are waiting for one of the award winners for the presentations tonight. So with that, we're going to go ahead and jump down to 3.2 on the agenda. I will need a motion to move to recess the regular meeting to go to a public hearing for the tribal leaders and Native American parents to discuss participation of the program. I have a motion from Don and a second from Dr. Kincaid. Call for the vote.
Dr. Kincaid?
Aye.
Mr. Newsom?
Aye.
Mr. Riley?
Aye.
Mr. Clark?
Aye. Motion carries. With that, Chris, we're going to move you up to the first of the batting order.
Well, thank you very much. Good evening. How's everybody doing?
Great.
Great. Me too. I'm here tonight because of the Impact Aid program. That's what we're going to discuss. The Impact Aid program exists to help federally impacted school districts adversely affected by the loss of tax revenue caused by federal ownership of land or the enrollment of children whose parents work or live on federal lands. Ponca City schools are impacted by students who live on federal low rent housing, and students who live on Indian lands. And because we count students on Indian lands, we must have Indian policies and procedures in place, and they must be reviewed annually. Tribal leaders and Native American parents are also given the opportunity to discuss the participation of Native American students in educational programs within our district. Our student counts for last year in FY 2015 were 131 kids living on Indian lands and 62 kids living in low-rent housing. The Impact Aid program has not been fully funded since the mid-1970s. Ponca City Public Schools receives a prorated amount of what is due, approximately 5.71%. It is paid over several payments in years because of the way the money is appropriated by Congress. We haven't received our initial payment yet for this year. Usually it's the end of this month or January sometime, so don't know exactly how much we're going to get. It's really a convoluted formula, and when we get that, then we'll know more about what we're going to get over the next few years. The money partially replaces tax dollars not collected and can be used any way the district chooses. Ours goes into the general fund and pays for a variety of items. The payments, when we do get them, they're usually less than $300 a pupil. The district spends well over $5,000 per pupil, so it's just a drop in the bucket of what we spend for kids. Native American students have access to and participate in every activity that non-Native students do. I gave you a sheet that broke down each sport and activity with a number of kids who participate. The student population, Indian population in Ponca City is 22.5% more or less of the total population. In football, we have 22 footballers. Half of the wrestlers are of Native American descent, and I found that kind of interesting. Anyway, 5 basketball players, 5 baseball players, 3 softball players, 12 volleyball players, 7 girls basketball players. We have 1 swimmer, so we got representation there. 4 cheerleaders, 2 high steppers, 6 band members, and 11 orchestra members. So our kids are able to participate, nothing holding them back except for what holds everybody else back, maybe time or transportation or grade. Certainly not just because they're Native American. So they do have access. And I'll entertain any questions you may have or step aside if there's any public comment.
Just one thing I want to point out that Chris mentioned, that that the way impact aid works, there's a formula, and I won't even, again, try to explain the formula because I can't. But we get penalized more because of the size of district we are. So the reason that our payment is only 5.7% is not just because of the formula, but there's actually an additional formula because we have a student body of above, I think, 3,000 kids may be the cut. So I think, Brenda, what was it last year? We should have received $600,000 and we get about 35 or 40,000. Is that correct?
We received probably around 50-some thousand.
50 last year? Okay. But that just shows you, how much money we're talking about, how, I won't say underfunded, but there are dollars out there that should be coming to us that don't. And again, it's not just Ponca City, it's everybody that's involved in the program. We just get hit a little extra harder because of the size we are. So, okay.
A question I had, Chris, I was noticing you have pretty good representation on these sports activities. Why is wrestling so good? I mean, you're 50% there,
I didn't
well,
realize we
most
had
of them are
50, so I
running.
started looking at the names and, comparing them to our list of Native American students, and I didn't realize we had 20 out of 40 wrestlers until I started looking at the names. I don't know why it's so good.
It's good. I mean, I congratulate them for that.
Yeah.
Is this a pretty good account? I just totaled it up real quick. It's 143 kids. I mean, is that about the average we've been doing in the past years? Do you remember?
Yeah, sometimes we've had more high steppers, sometimes more cheerleaders, but that looks about right across the board. And I broke it up into percentage wise too. Football's 18%, which is right in line with our population too.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
and most of them are pretty representative of the overall population.
Good. Thank you.
Any other questions for Chris? Thank you.
Well, thank you. Have a Merry Christmas.
Okay.
Public comments.
Okay, well,
If anybody wants to
we've got-
comment on,
oh.
if anybody in the audience.
Yeah, is there
wants to-
anybody that wants to talk about the Native American program that we have here while we're on this part of the agenda? If not, I'd entertain a motion to return back to regular session.
So move that we return.
Have a motion from Marvin and a second from Don. Call for the vote.
Mr. Newsom?
Aye.
Mr. Riley?
Aye.
Mr. Clark?
Aye.
Dr. Kincaid?
Okay, with that said, now we're going to go back to the presentations and recognitions portion of the agenda, item 2.1. Our first award will go to the Certified Employee of the Month. That's Ryan Lipscomb, who is the Assistant Band Director at West Middle School.
I'd like to congratulate you. Ryan is an incredible music educator. He does an excellent job at all levels. He is respected by his colleagues and students at all the sites where he teaches. Ryan is a professional who strives to provide the best musical experiences for his students. Under his leadership, the band program at West has flourished over the past 7 years, which has in turn strengthened the high school band program. Ryan's high standards are evident in the success of his students and the quality of performances of his bands. Mr. Lipscomb continues to learn and grow by being active in professional music education organizations. He maintains his own musicianship by performing regularly. Ryan's instruction expands beyond the walls of the classroom. When his students perform, he educates the audience about the music on the program by speaking about each piece. It is clear that Ryan knows his material, and he is a skilled educator. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Ryan. Next will be the Support Employee of the Month. This goes to Colleen Patterson, who is a crossing guard at Woodlands Elementary.
And we have several folks from Woodlands here, and Colleen's family is here. Would you like to tell them? Hear from your family?
My husband Lloyd Patterson and my granddaughter Lexi Huster, my grandson Logan Huster, and Amy Huster.
And the kids go to Union, right? All right. Well, this is what the employees at Woodlands have said about you, Colleen. Colleen Patterson's duties as a crossing guard for Woodlands Elementary began in 2012. She was located on Hartford Avenue, where she crossed less than 20 students per day. She was once recognized, though, by our district for her quick actions, which saved a student from a very dangerous situation. Mrs. Patterson came to know her small clientele well, and she carefully monitored their safety each day. The comfort level of Mrs. Patterson's job changed drastically in August of 2014. As Woodlands Elementary School was closed due to a major remodel, Mrs. Patterson was relocated to North 7th Street in front of the temporary Woodlands site. Mrs. Patterson's day went from crossing a few students to maintaining the safety of hundreds of students and parents each day. Patrons on this busy street are familiar with Mrs. Patterson and respect the job she does. She knows our students by name and will assist them in locating their ride, even if they do not need to use the crosswalk. Mrs. Patterson's duties necessitated that she become somewhat of a traffic police monitor. Traffic must be monitored closely at our new location. Mrs. Patterson is a valuable asset as her keen eye reports vehicles who present a danger to our crossing area. She respectfully reminds parents and family members of the reasons for the rules. Her number one objective is to assist students in getting to and from school safely, while also monitoring the traffic flow around our school. Mrs. Patterson makes sure that the first child to arrive, no matter how early, and the last child who leaves, no matter how late, is cared for by our staff. Colleen Patterson's dedication to her job exemplifies the team spirit that we feel at Woodlands Elementary School. We are proud to honor her as the District Support Employee of the Month. We are very proud to have you. Now, one thing I do want to, and this is yours, one thing I do want to mention is her father-in-law, Raymond Patterson, was the crossing guard at Woodlands for, I think, 18 years. And then he died a year and a half ago in 2012, and Colleen stepped in and took his place. So we really appreciate this dedication from your family. Thank you.
Thank you. Our Friend of Education Award goes to two gentlemen, Ed Halverson and Bob Jorgensen, both with the Ponca City Masonic Lodge. They are volunteers for the Prevent Blindness Oklahoma program.
I am pleased to introduce Ed Halverson and Bob Jorgensen. This is Ed, this is Bob, and they are our Friends of Education for December of 2014, and I'll tell you why. Ponca City Public Schools would like to honor Ed Halverson and Bob Jorgensen as the December 2014 Friends of Education. Bob and Ed are the directors of Prevent Blindness Oklahoma in the Ponca City area. Our district is very fortunate to have their group of trained volunteers from the Masonic Lodge to assist with the student vision screening each year. The Masonic Charity Foundation also provides the funding needed for Prevent Blindness Oklahoma to continue this much-needed service in our community. For the past 28 years, the Masons have worked with Prevent Blindness Oklahoma to provide vision screenings for children throughout the state. These partners in prevention happen to be the oldest partnership of the Masonic Charity Foundation of Oklahoma. The vision of thousands of Oklahoma children have been saved due to this service. Many Ponca City students have made significant growth in reading and writing after they have received glasses, and the first step of this process is usually due to a failed vision screening with Prevent Blindness. On behalf of Ponca City Public Schools and the Board of Education, we would like to extend our appreciation to Bob and Ned for donating their time each year to help our students be successful by continuing to volunteer their time for this much-needed service. We appreciate all you do, gentlemen. Thank you. Each year, we appreciate it. Thanks. We're so glad that you're here.
Thanks, guys. Now, if all the award winners will follow Mary, it's the lady with her hand up back there, you're going to get your picture taken. Next item on the agenda is 3.1, public comment. Comments from the public are important to us on the board. Is there anyone that'd like to address the board at this time? Seeing none, we will move right on.